Awakening Code Radio with Eric Rankin. Mind-expanding talk and music every Tuesday night on KX 93.5.
When somebody shares a dream with me, I feel like I'm a detective that's always looking for clues to help to solve the case of how can this magnificent being be set free. And when a person shares a dream with me, I feel like it's a ton of clues just falling at my feet to reveal the mystery of who they are and what's possible and what the next step is for them to be able to expand into who they are. So it's why I don't get bored with dreams. I actually love them.
Yeah, and a person like you, now see, a person like me gets to hear somebody's random dreams, and there's no context to relate them to much else. It's like, well, yeah, you're right, that was a crazy dream, or I don't know what to tell you about it. I would imagine over the years that you can now put things in context, that a certain type of person had a certain type of dream to where you could go, how interesting is that this person presenting these types of issues going on in their life had this dream.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of overlay there where I would think then it starts becoming an actual powerful tool.
And I love teaching dream work to people, because to me, it's one thing for me to be able to express my perspective on what I think dreams mean. But to me, I get really excited when people that I've been working with start to have an insight about their own dreams and start to wake up to their own magic, and where they don't need me as much, but where they start to decode it themselves and see what kind of an epiphany it is. I mean, I can see somebody, I just worked with somebody today who has been so having a rough time. I mean, it's like her whole life has been unraveling, but she had this dream about this amazing pair of sneakers with these bright laces, and they looked worn, and the feeling that she had as she described these tennis shoes, these sneakers, it was like, it made me feel like I'm going places, and it made me feel comfortable in them, like they fit me, and I've been there before. I've been in them. I know how to move with them. So it gave her this sense of mobility, and this random dream symbol that like gave her this insight that nothing in the rational ego world could have given her. It's amazing when you start to get that kind of feedback.
Do you think there's an intelligence behind dreams, almost like a God source energy intelligence behind dreams?
My favorite quote in the world is a Rumi quote, and he says, "Though we appear to be sleeping, there's an inner wakefulness that directs the dream that will eventually startle us back to the truth of who we are." So an inner wakefulness that directs the dream. I believe that we all have this awake aspect of ourselves that is the giant aspect of us, the God aspect of us, the big version of us. And then there's the little teeny ego part of ourselves that's like Chicken Little. It's like, oh, the sky is falling, and how am I going to pay my bills, and how am I hyperventilating? And this big part of ourselves is like, oh, honey, it's going to be okay. Look at this big aspect. And our dreams are that big aspect, and we get to bridge the gap.
And it seems like we have been guided, like, I'm going to even call pyramids almost a dream. That how do cultures that supposedly were not communicating with each other, how are they coming up with similar objects or designs? It's almost as if it came to them in a dream, or even the all-seeing eye, that something like that.
Oh yeah,
symbolically comes.
RSWT, Reswit in Egyptian, is the symbol of the all-seeing eye, the eye of Horus, and that's the symbol. Interestingly, that's the symbol for dreams, and it's also the symbol for being awake, of awakening. Interesting. Here's a little side riff on this. Historically speaking, in times of great revolution, in times of like the Renaissance, for example, and in time like when the pyramids happen, and were times of incredible dreaming, and those were times when dreams were revered and respected. During the Dark Ages, during the Inquisitions, these are times of little creativity and a diminishment and burning of books and burning of witches. These are times when no dreams were reported. Times of believing that the only ones that had the right to dream were the high priests and ordinary commoners. How dare you think that you have the right to dream and commune with a higher being, especially if you're a woman? Oh, we will burn you. So the women would say, oh, no, we don't dream. And there's still a bit of a carryover of that because we still think of dreams largely in our collective community in this Western world as being nonsensical, meaning nothing. But once upon a time, we revered them, we respected them, we had them, and when we had them, we shared them openly. And I believe the pendulum is moving in that direction once again, where we will take delight in hearing people's dreams, where it won't seem so strange. We're in that transition period where still it seems strange, but I think we're going to become more fluent in that language once again as we evolve in this. Now we're post 2012. Now it's like all bets are off. We can all become dolphinian humans if we want to.
Right. And we always believed that whole 2012 thing was just the slingshot firing us off into the future, not the end of anything.
No.
Oh, if
it's
anything,
the opening of the portal.
Exactly.
Right.
If anything, the end of old sticky energy,
right,
and us waking up to this grand energy.
Well, it's kind of like the Berlin Wall coming down. It's like, here's the... I was in Berlin a year or two after the Berlin Wall came down, and it was like, okay, the wall's down, but it doesn't look like anything's happening. I mean, there's still this dark energy. There's still... And it took a while before people started crossing over and do. It's like the elephant that's tied to, tied to the whatever it is, the stake, and you free it, and it's like, well, I'm still going to hang out around here because it's not really safe to venture.
What I
so
know.
In a way, it's like the wall's been down. We're not confined to that stake,
right,
but we still kind of don't know where to go. I had a dream once. I'm going to just go here for a second. Do you mind?
I told you what I feel about hearing other people's dreams. Okay, go ahead.
No, but I had a dream where I was an actress once upon a time and then a singer. I'm a Renaissance woman. I've been there, done that. But I had a dream that I was on a movie set, and there was a gunman on the movie set, and he was gonna shoot everybody. And I thought, oh my God, I'm gonna die on a movie set. I knew I should have stopped acting, and I knew I was supposed to transition, but God, I should have listened. And I said to the gunman, excuse me, I left something in my purse in the car. I'll be right back. And he's like, all right, come right back. So in my dream, I leave and I realize I'm free. I left. But where do I go? So I went next door, and that was where the dream ended. And it was so funny to me because I realized, wow, when we are free, we don't know what to do with that.
We want to go right.
We want to go right next door, like 5 inches to the left, and whoo! But we don't know that we can go to the galaxy. We can we can go anywhere.
I think that's a perfect analogy for where we're at. Is that there's a lot of people almost with fingers crossed, wishing, can't things just go back to the way they were, sort of thing. And it was like,
nobody
no.
listening to this show. I'm sorry, Eric.
No, not the people listening to the show, but we all know people like that. It was safe, it was predictable, and at very low. If we talk about chakras, it's very low vibrational energy. Nothing wrong with it, but it's where the game is easily understood. It's the old bumper sticker: "He who dies with the most toys wins."
Right,
how life looks, the presentation, the ego attachment, the overlording of your energy, maybe at the expense of others. Everybody sort of understands it at that level, and now we're at this threshold, jumping into this more divine feminine aspect of the higher energy chakra aspects of our lives, and there's that thing that says, I'm not familiar. I'm so familiar. There's a whole human history of us living in this place. The way we solve conflict is through violence and power and intimidation. We get that. The news still presents that as completely normal. We understand life on that level. So it's filtering into us, but boy, it doesn't take much for us to get a little unnerved and go, it's just so vast, and let's just take teeny baby steps. But we haven't taken any steps other than advancing technology to enforce our old vibrational ways, where we used to throw rocks at each other. Now we can throw nuclear missiles at each other.
Or throw mean text messages or mean Facebook messages.
Yeah, things that last forever. It's all these new paradigm technologies with old paradigm thinking.
One of the things that I love about dreams is I feel like it's a really gentle way to prepare ourselves for change. Because change, no matter how evolved and how much we claim to love change, it's still scary. I know for myself, I I had a death experience a few years ago, and it was during a time when I was moving from the Hollywood Hills to the deserts of Santa Fe, and I was never before had I realized how attached I was to my stuff and my pretty things, and I realized, wow, I mean, so as much of a flower child as I think I am, man, I'm attached. So I think it's human nature. It's part of what stabilizes us to have routines and to have things, and nothing wrong with that. But in dreams, sometimes we have an opportunity, if we remember dreams. We all dream, but if we remember our dreams, we have an opportunity to explore new landscapes. We have an opportunity to heal certain things, and we have an opportunity to explore and rehearse changing, so that when in real life we're posed with a new situation, we have some kind of a sense of, wait a second, I've been there before. I kind of have a hunch of what's around the corner here. I think I can do this. So it doesn't have to be so horribly scary.
Awakening Code Radio is available on podcast. Visit www.kx935.com.